So this is the big one, BioWare. My favorite game of all time and the one that garnered you so much hate. Are you going to stay true to what you released? Try to recapture your original vision? Or are you just going to simply fuck it up? Well, I'm hoping for the best, but to be fair, let's break it down to a couple questions I think I'd like to ask after I complete my playthrough. Starting with gameplay, how does it feel on Insanity? So, in all my recent PC playthroughs, I've thoroughly enjoyed my time playing the game on Insanity, even with the shoddy keybinds. One of the biggest improvements was the introduction of the combat roll. The ability to move yourself in and out of harm's way quickly increased the overall speed of combat, allowing you to push aggressively, knowing that with a strong loadout, smart power usage, and quick reactions, you could hit hard and reposition before you got bogged down. The Omniblade also left you the strong last-ditch weapon either to deliver a finishing blow or create much needed space in a fight. Combine that with much better interactions between squad powers such as the new tech explosions and expanded abilities to create biotic reactions led to awesome combos with teammates. Tag in with the quick team power mate usage allowing you to line up combos with a button press rather than needing to open the power menu, and combat has a flow the first two entries could never hope to match. The only thing they claim to have fixed though is janky cover interactions, so I guess that's what I'll be measuring up against. Regardless, I'll just be going by feel here and seeing how it stacks up. Does it feel buggy or refined? The extremely limited time frame BioWare had to release Mass Effect 3 left it in being easily the buggiest of the three games, and while I never really felt like it was that bad, I'll take some notes on if it feels more polished versus the original. Okay, the big question, did they fix the fucking keybinds? We both know they didn't, but tune into the stream for me ranting about it live. I'm sure it'll upset me at some point. Exploration. Does the Citadel feel better or worse? The Citadel is the only real hub to be found in the game, but in spite of that, I always felt that it was quite expansive and fun. The fetch quests can get a little repetitive, but the interactions you had with characters throughout the stations were memorable, so the bar here will really be the loading times around the station, which I expect to be close to nothing. How's planet scanning? Bar here is pretty simple. Do I have to bump my DPI to 4,000 or not? Considering you're actually scanning for minerals anymore, but scanning for objectives, I don't think it's going to be as annoying, but I bet it's going to be just as bad. Do I have to Google Dakuna? For new players, this is going to be a bit of a confusing one, so let me hit you with a little bit of history. BioWare had almost no time to get this game out of the door thanks to EA, so that led to a lot of little details being missed. One of the things that saw some major neglect was the Codex, one of the strongest pieces of lore building in the first two games and your go-to for detailed explanations of in-game history. So when you get a mission telling you to go to the Elcor homeworld of Dakuna to rescue as many people as you can but don't have a location in your journal, the only logical place to gain that info is in the Codex. Logically, you could search it up, read about the Elcor and their homeworld, and where it's located. Unfortunately, it's simply not there. Fixing this small omission would show BioWare do at least care about some of the smaller aspects in the game that get lost the first time around. Visuals, how are the cutscenes? Mass Effect 3's pre-rendered cutscenes looked atrociously bad compared to the game itself, especially on modern hardware that can run resolutions above 720. As someone who was running the game at 1440 just a few months ago, I can tell you the jump back to 720p was extremely jarring. In the dev blog discussing changes, they say the cutscenes have been re-rendered in 4K, but we'll have to see how they look, and honestly, I'm going to be pretty stingy about this one. How does it run? Simple as that. How does the game run? Considering I don't have any graphics options to make sure I have a positive experience, I'm expecting a frame rate of at least 100 FPS consistently, with little to no dips below 60 FPS. And does it look noticeably better? I thought the game looked pretty good for its age and honestly pretty okay by today's standards. It's not Red Dead Redemption 2, but what is? Although it was a little weak on the anti-aliasing side. The smoothing around, yeah, it just wasn't great. Improved resolutions were the only positive changes in Mass Effect 2, so if we're following that trend, this game better look fucking fantastic. The narrative, has any dialogue changed or been added? There's a lot of complaints on release about how restricted the dialogue felt in this game compared to the others, so I'll be keeping an eye out for any extra dialogue they might have slipped in. Do any missions feel different? Apparently some missions had cover added for more balanced combat experience, so I'll make sure to take note if anything really feels improved. It didn't in Mass Effect 1, so I'm not expecting a big change here, but we'll keep an eye out. Is the Galaxy at War better? The updated Galaxy at War feature is the biggest change coming to Mass Effect 3 as far as I can tell, and while I'll actually miss multiplayer quite a bit, I'll be excited to try out the changes. And just a last general question, did I enjoy it more? Mass Effect 3 is by far my favorite game in the series and my favorite game of all time, so it's going to be tough to improve on that for me. I'm going in as open-minded as I can, so let's hope it's a better experience overall for everyone. Well, if you're listening to this and the Mass Effect 3 streams have started, and I hope you'll stop it and say hi. I really appreciate it. Don't be shy in chat. I'll be streaming daily until the game is done, the only exception being if I slip in some Formula 1 or Siege streams with the boys. Here's hoping to a fun experience all around. I'm Purple, and that'll be it from me right now. Have a good night, and always remember to smile.